following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors and I'm your host. And tonight, I got a very special guest, professional wrestler, promoter, Anthony Greene.
How are you doing?
Not bad. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
You had a show yesterday for
Sure
01 USA Northeast.
Correct. Longest name in professional wrestling history. I like to make it as long as possible.
Yep.
So anytime I have someone cut a promo, they have to say the whole name every time.
Nice. All right, we got there's so many fan questions. I have a feeling it's just going to be pretty much fan questions because it's going to take up all our time. Where'd you grow up?
Randolph, Massachusetts.
Okay.
I've actually lived in the same house since I was born.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Very nice. All right, how old were you when you first saw pro wrestling?
Oh, I don't have an exact answer
Right.
for you. It was like
Just little, huh?
instant. Like my first memory of pro wrestling has to be WCW.
Yep.
It's crazy because it must have been like 94 or 95-ish. I was born in 93 though, so
Okay.
I don't know if it was tapes
Right.
or what, but I remember Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair in
wow.
WCW.
Yep.
And I distinctly remember watching the next day on VHS tape. My mom recorded the pay-per-view for me.
Yep.
I saw Hulk Hogan turn heel in '96.
Right.
So at minimum, I was 3 years old.
Wow.
When I first really started watching wrestling.
You're the youngest guy so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right. When did you go to your first show?
Oh, I don't remember my first WWE show. Or WWF at the time.
Right.
But I did bring something. I remember my first indie show, and I actually have the program to this day. Richard Burns' USWF. It was at the Randolph High School. The main event was Pierre the Mountie versus WWF's Warlord.
Nice.
And on the back, I have one autograph. God rest his soul. Gorgeous
Gorgeous
Chris
one.
Duffy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's an incredible little piece.
Yeah.
You got Richard Burns, of course, he was the promoter. So,
Right. Yeah, so he's first.
I'm following up in his footsteps,
Yeah.
actually. No. Yeah, the Warlord.
Nice.
This is just like a real cool.
That's really cool.
The rest of it's a lot of just ads and
Yep.
stuff. I have a few others I can show you in a little bit, but it's just a really cool piece.
That is awesome.
If I remember correctly, I think Amanda Storm was also on the card.
Okay.
I don't remember it being a long show.
Right.
Like maybe 4 or 5 matches.
Right.
But I remember there being a women's match, a guy that came out and threw frisbees to the ring, to the crowd.
Yeah.
And the main event was Warlord and Pierre the Mountie. And Tim White actually refereed on that show.
Really?
While he was already in the WWE.
Right. Now, where was the show?
Oh, Randolph High School.
It was in Randolph.
Randolph
Okay.
High School. That
Nice.
was what, 1997?
Wow.
May 10th, 97.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So when you went to your first show, who brought you? Was you
My parents.
your parents
my
brought you?
parents, my sister.
Did they like wrestling too?
My mom was like a casual fan. That's
Yep.
kind of how I guess I got into it.
Right.
I remember she just put it on the TV,
Yeah.
and I guess I just sat there and I was just like glued.
Right.
And then for Christmas, I remember I got 2 things.
Yeah.
Like 2 big things. I got a guitar because as a kid I was fascinated with Elvis Presley.
Right. Nice.
And then I got a bunch of the WCW San Francisco toy maker, like basically the fake LJNs, like
Yep.
the Macho Man, Craig Pittman, Alex Wright, Hogan, Vader, all those. And I guess I said screw the guitar.
Yeah.
I locked myself in my room and just like created matches and battle royals. It came with the big red cage around the shorter ring.
Yep.
Like you had the little button that you could press and it'd make noises and stuff.
Right.
That was like kind of, I guess, how I got hooked.
That's pretty awesome because I'll tell you, when I was a little kid, they didn't have wrestling dolls. So like if I had a cowboy guy, he was like Blackjack Mulligan. You know what I mean? Seriously. Iron Man would be like Mil Mascaras. I had to make guys, you know what I mean? I had the wrestling names.
So it's funny you say that. I actually watched today on
Yeah.
Netflix The Toys That Made Us. I've never watched the series at all.
Right.
But I specifically wanted to watch the episode about pro wrestling.
Right.
Pro wrestling toys. And if you watch the end, fun little tidbit for local wrestling fans, at the end they show a couple fans' collections. Jason Blades is seen.
I have seen pictures of his on.
He has every Hasbro.
Wow.
Ever. And they show Sean Burke's collection as well.
Really?
Yep.
That's awesome. I think I heard Sean talk about it on a podcast with the, I don't know if he was on it, but Crockett and
Oh, yeah.
Fury. Was he on that one?
WPAN.
Oh, yeah. WPAN, yeah. Crockett's got a question later. All right, so who trained you?
YouTube.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Funny enough, so this is a really long story that I'm going to cut very short.
Okay.
My original wrestling school I found when I was 13 years old. I used to do backyard wrestling. One of the backyard wrestlers got trained at Yankee Pro by like Brickhouse Baker, and I believe Ryan Waters helped a lot with his training at the time. His name was Mike. It was Chris Razor.
Okay.
Then he turned into Michael Cross. His real name is Mike Medina, not to get confused with Congo.
Right.
Totally different guy.
Okay.
He's still a friend of mine to this day, so I'm not like, talking crap about him.
Right.
But he probably shouldn't have been training people.
Right.
The school was 7 minutes from my house in Holbrook, Mass. My parents signed the waiver. The trainings were every other week. So it was like one training on like a Saturday.
Right.
Every other week. And I was 13. I'm like, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
My body wasn't ready for that.
Right.
I would go home with headaches. Like I'd go home sick to my stomach, like not being able to handle it.
Right.
And then I would start doing ring crew at places. And then I would find random places to just train every once in a while.
Right.
So at one time there was Full Spectrum Wrestling in Taunton, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Jose Perez was the booker. And they had a school there, which was run by TJ Richter.
Oh, okay.
So I was just reffing at the time.
Right.
And I would go there and I would just take bumps and stuff. So he helped a lot with like the hip tosses, the arm drags, learning like small spots and stuff. And then from there I would go to like Bell Time Club every once in a while. And I would train with like Bo Douglas or Jason Rumble. Or whomever would run the class that day.
Right.
JT Dunn would randomly run classes and
Oh,
stuff.
okay. And Pat Dillon was down there too?
Pat Dillon would help out as well there. And then it wasn't until, I know it's a question, so I guess because I kind of scanned over them to see anything. So my first match I had was on May 6th, 2012. Wrestling Star Wars, now known as APW.
Was that when Knuckles owned it, or was that when Joe?
It was Joe Moakley.
Okay, yeah.
Big
Because
Woody.
I know he used the name at the beginning.
For a little bit, yeah.
Right.
So this was May 6, 2012, Kids Fest in Haverhill, Mass. I showed up with my ref gear, and I showed up with like crappy wrestling gear and like a mask to maybe do a battle royal, because I would do that from time to time. And I ended up not wearing the mask, and I had my first ever singles match with Julian Starr.
Nice.
Oddly enough, who you just recently had on. And then Julian kind of said, he didn't tell me where I should go or shouldn't go to train. I'm sure he was kind of pushing me towards going maybe to New England Pro Wrestling Academy. But he said, honestly, like for not being like a fully trained pro wrestler, like just knowing the basics, you did really well. If you get your fundamentals down, like you could do this.
Right.
1 month later, I did a seminar as a referee at the lockup. Fall River, Ryan Waters, and stuff. But the seminar was run by Bob Evans. It was a Mike Mondo. It was a Mike Mondo seminar on like a random Wednesday, and I drove up with Drew, and I remember Bob Evans called 2 people out, saying that you guys should be training every single week here. It was me and someone I won't name. Okay. We both showed up the next week. Only one of us showed up the week after that, and it was me. And I was still only wanting to be a ref. Right. And I wasn't sure I wanted to wrestle, but I give Ryan Waters a ton of credit. He kind of challenged me and forced me, even though I was just there to like ref. He was like, do this drill. Right. No, you're going to do this drill this time. Like you're going to boom, and then kind of got the itch there. I told myself after that one match with Julian, like, that's the best match I'll ever have. Like, like for a guy that was whatever trained, like, I was very happy with it. If I watched it now, I'm sure I would cringe.
Well, yeah,
but I want to remember it for what it was.
Right.
And yeah, then I started training full time with H2O, Ryan Waters at the Spike Dudley School, the lockup.
Yep.
Nick Steele helped. Supplementary training from Bob Evans, Mike Bennett,
Right.
Maria, Matt Taven. They would all always be in there.
Nice.
I trained there from June 2012 to November 2014.
Yep.
That's when like a new crop of students came in,
Right.
like the Jason Daniels,
Okay.
this kid named Will the Thrill was his nickname.
Yeah.
TK Orion
Okay.
started, and I felt like with the new crop with only one ring,
Yeah.
I was doing a lot of the same stuff.
Right. Right.
Like there's only so many arm drags
Yeah.
that I can take. So from there, I switched over to the New England Pro Wrestling Academy with Brian Fury.
Yep.
Which I felt like I got my fundamentals and how to work on the fly
Yep.
with top rope, with
Yep.
the lockup with Ryan Waters. And then I feel like my finishing school
Right.
was kind of similar to Julian.
Yes.
That Fury was his finishing school.
Right, right.
And it's kind of the same for me as well.
Brian said the same thing with Steve Bradley was
Yep.
his finish in school because he started with Jeff Costa.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you already said, did we ask who was in the class?
Like in my first,
Yeah, your first class.
my
I didn't-
first
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
Probably no one you've ever heard of, honestly.
All right, cool. We'll just skip that then. And so your first match you already told us about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's move on to what were some of the first companies to book you? Like
As a wrestler? Or?
yeah, as a wrestler. We'll get into the rep on the next question.
First place to book me was Wrestling Star Wars.
Yep.
From there, VCW,
Okay.
Jason Rumble's
Yep.
VCW. I did their show. It's called like Fist, Fist. It was like the Future Independent Stars Today.
Okay.
I teamed with Ryan Matthews.
Oh, I remember Ryan Matthews.
So my
yeah.
original wrestling name was Josiah Matthews.
Yeah, I saw that on
Yeah,
the I was
cage
looking on the
match,
data.
yeah.
Yeah, cage match.
So I was his little brother,
Okay.
JoJo,
Yep.
Josiah Matthews, and Ryan Matthews. We wrestled Mike Pava and Lumberjake.
Oh, nice.
And then my first consistent bookings,
Yeah.
like that would book me consistently, was Power League Wrestling,
Yep.
PLW, Tommy D,
Okay.
and NCW,
NCW.
Northeast Championship
Yep.
Wrestling, JC Marks.
Right. They're still going strong. Right?
Yeah, I actually just did their show on
Yeah,
Friday.
Yeah.
So those were like the consistent ones. Then I would randomly get booked on like, I did a show in New Hampshire, actually.
Really?
In Derry, New Hampshire.
Okay.
I think Moondog Maximus ran it.
Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long
Yeah,
time.
he ran that show. I did a Showcase Pro Wrestling show. Like, I just wanted to get whatever bookings I
Right.
could, like just get my reps in.
Yep.
I did an IWE show in Maine.
Yep.
Right when I
For,
first started. It was Eric Johnson at the time.
okay.
That ran.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, have you worked for LPW since the very beginning?
I was the first ever main event in Lucky Pro Wrestling history.
Nice.
It-
I know you're good friends with those guys.
Yeah,
They're great
I've known
guys,
them.
too.
The running joke is they started Lucky Pro Wrestling to get me over as a wrestler because I was wrestling just under a year at that point.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, they were like my first big main event
Right.
that I got to do on an indie show at the
Yep.
time. I got to wrestle Nunzio and Big Vito.
Oh, nice.
I teamed with friend of the show, Todd Sopel.
Yes, Todd.
Yeah.
Yep.
So-
Good old Todd. It's too bad he stopped running, you know. And I mean, we weren't going to get into all that because it's just
Yeah.
a horrible thing. Honestly,
Honestly,
he's not my favorite person, but he ran a good company. He had a lot of loyal fans, and he gave place for people to work. That's all, you know.
When I was a year in, he put me in there with great guys. The
Nice.
first time I wrestled for him, I wrestled Kevin Perry. Does that name ring a bell? Like,
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't heard it in a long
him and I
time.
trained together at Ryan Drew's.
Okay.
So we got to like have a match there, so that was good. Then he put me in there with like Scotty Slade,
Nice.
who was
Yep.
years ahead of me. He put
Right.
me in there with Dijak,
Yeah.
who was like 6 months in, but already like impeccable and amazing at calling matches. He's a freak of nature.
He is a freak. Yeah.
He got it way too fast.
Yeah.
So like he helped me a lot. He gave me like one of my first like I guess title runs. I was
Yep.
tag team champ
Right.
with Cam Zagami. So yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about
Right.
Todd personally.
Yeah, and like I
And,
said,
and he's
I mean,
always blunt. He's always blunt, always
that's
honest.
what a lot of people don't like about him.
But
I know, you know what I mean. I'm just saying, like that's
sometimes, sure, like maybe just like not just him, but
Right.
keep your mouth shut. You don't have to
Yes.
say something.
Yep.
But I respect him for sticking with his word.
Right.
I will give him that.
Yeah, and again,
And he's never done me wrong.
right,
Ever.
and I, you know, all I'll say is the guy can work, and he's a hell of a talker. And, I'd never take that away from him. I'm not an idiot, All right. Brandon Belanger, who's training down there at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy, knowing that you reffed before you started wrestling, how long were you a ref before you started wrestling? Thanks, Brandon. I think he's got another question later.
My first time reffing was September 2009, my first official reffing.
Yep.
It was for Bay State Championship Wrestling, which was the company that I started training with in 2006.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But back then it was called Strictly Ruthless Wrestling, SRW. Cool name, huh?
Yeah.
And I believe it was September 21st, if I want to be crazy and say the exact date. It was the day after Ring of Honor in Boston, which I think was the September 20th. Bret Hart was there.
Oh, yes.
Eddie Edwards wrestled Kevin Steen and stuff.
I was already gone from there. I wasn't catering those shows.
I was wondering. So September 21st, I believe. Notable names on that show that I reffed for. The main event was sensational Scott Levesque versus Ring of Honor star, former Ring of Honor world champion Matt Taven. That was the main event of the card.
You must have been proud of him when he won the...
At Madison Square Garden.
Isn't that crazy? I thought that was really awesome.
What was I going to say? So yeah, from September 2009, I ref from then until my first match, which was May 2012.
Right.
I reffed and wrestled for an entire year.
Oh, wow.
And I officially stopped reffing June 2013.
Okay. Now, someone had a question in here about your reffing. We'll get to that after. But a family friend, Sarah Howard, wants to know, what is your favorite match? Your match, not somebody, you know what I mean? Not like watching a match.
A match that I wrestled in?
Yes.
My favorite, I have a few, but if I had to pick one, probably me versus Josh Briggs from the Network special.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. All right, she has a follow-up question. She's a newer wrestling indie fan. She goes to a lot of the chaotic shows. Did you like being in a tag team? You've been in a few, so.
I've been in so many.
Right.
I think tag team wrestling's a lost art.
Yeah, it's my favorite. I'd rather watch a tag team match.
I think there's so much more uniqueness and like so many shortcuts you can take because it's not just one-on-one.
Right.
There's four bodies plus a referee,
Yep.
sometimes a manager or valet. There's just so many options. I've always liked tag team wrestling. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Mav wants to know, what do you fertilize that sweet stash with?
Man, nothing at all.
I'm surprised you didn't ask to come in today.
It's natural, man. It's just nothing in it.
Yep.
I know some people like to use like a little there's like that little wax and stuff.
And there's oils and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, me, nothing. It's just I just let the thing do its do its own thing.
Nice. All right. Dan Bolio, he says it has been great following your career. When did you realize you were over with the audience? Dan.
I mean, I'd love to answer that question, but I feel like I'm not over with him. He doesn't even come to the shows that I run.
And I invite him to all of them to come with me.
I mean, he can come.
All of them.
He can just come and help out. You know?
Exactly. Dan.
Even though I do respect him for how much he loves poutine.
Yeah, and Charlie Cashew.
All right, let's get nuts.
That was a great little segment yesterday, too. I like that. Definitely didn't see that coming. You know, you started, so that's going to be a regular thing at your shows? Maybe?
I think it was worth trying.
Yeah, I thought he did pretty good.
I think it went a little long.
Right.
But,
right.
You know, it is what it is.
Yep.
I think it's worth another shot. I also like him as a wrestler. The reason why I put that segment on is because there's so many new young talents.
Right.
Or in so many newer characters, like Tyler Cintron isn't necessarily new, but he's new to the area.
Yes.
And I want to fit so much in a show. And sometimes it might be a little too much, but I like them so much, and I do think they're great characters and they're great people. So I want to make sure I get as much in as possible.
Yep.
Plus, I like to have the footage, of course.
Right.
But to answer Dan's question, I hate even saying that I'm over with the crowd.
But you are, though. So you really are. And you've been over for a while, too.
At Chaotic?
Do you think that's when around the All Good time? Do you think that's when it started, too?
No, I think All Good, like, people liked it.
Right.
But I think it was when the whole retro or retrosexual character came about. That's kind of when it blew up.
Right.
And I figured, like, at each place I was over at a different time.
Right.
Like, I would say my most over at Chaotic was probably right when I won the Countdown.
Right.
Even though before that, like, I was the New England champion and I was an over heel. Maybe it was even when I wrestled Scotty. We did that the Retro Genesis match.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
With the pre-filmed stuff.
Right.
That was a lot of fun. So that may have been it. Or it was when I won the countdown, because that was one of the most genuine reactions I heard up until when I won the title the month after during the wedding that luckily didn't go through.
Yeah, well, that's going to be something I want to bring up later, because I was like fascinated with the very first promo you guys did. That was just like blew my mind, especially knowing that one of them is actually your significant other.
Yes.
All right. So Dan and Sonny, this is kind of, they both wanted to ask this question. I'm putting them together. What was the catalyst for becoming retrosexual, AG? And were you just missing on the other gimmicks?
So I actually had to talk with Bob Evans about it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it was just like throwing crap at the wall, trying different things. Like, I was all good Anthony Greene as a good guy. I was the bad guy that was kind of like a millennial type character. I had the headset for a little bit, and I thought that was unique. And I would do like rhymes and like I was just trying everything I could. At Beyond, I was the big man on canvas.
Yes.
Stole that from Duke and Chaotic, and me and Brick Mastone, we were Alpha Sigma Sigma.
Yep.
ASS, you can put it together. And yeah, nothing was really going for me. Between us and the cameras that are over here, in August 2017, I thought about quitting wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, just like nothing was going for me. Wow. I was getting a lot of opportunities and just never anything was coming of them. Like I would be able to go to Canada for Alpha One, but then like it would never get called back. Or I had the opportunities with House of Hardcore and then never brought back. So I was just like, all right, maybe it's just not for me anymore.
Right.
And then that December, I was in a group chat with a couple of guys, and it was Dijak that said, you're not as athletic as AR Fox.
Right.
You're not as jacked as Brian Cage. Yeah. What can you do to make yourself as elite on the independents as them, but not try to be them?
Right.
And I was like, I think I have more character than them, more charisma.
Right.
So he was like, all right.
Which is true.
He's like, so what are you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. What if I'm the retrosexual? He goes, huh, what's that? And I go, I don't know. Like, what if I'm just like a pop culture guy?
Yeah.
You know, I do a lot of stuff from like maybe like the late 80s, early 90s, just like small little tidbits. He goes, I like it. Give me more information.
Right.
And I was just able to like unravel this character very quickly, because it really is just me amped up to 100.
Right. Are you seriously like into pop culture too?
Yeah, very much. Like my favorite movie's The Goonies, which is a very generic answer, but it's the truth.
Yep.
I love like the 80s wrestling action figures. I listen to 80s and early 90s music.
Full House,
like TV shows like that.
Yep.
So it was like, that's kind of where the idea came from. And that was like late December. Right. And then that whole week, I was just fascinated by the idea. So I went on YouTube and I found episodes of like I Love the 80s from VH1. And I watched from 85 to 95.
Right.
And then I started watching like 80s movies like The Heathers, and I'd pick something from there.
Yep.
I'd watch The Breakfast Club. I'd pick something here. And I would just pick little things from movies and TV shows, and the Uncle Jesse of pro wrestling. Oh, because you're welcome for the Full House. Like little funny little things, not necessarily that even had to do with my character, but something I think the crowd could relate to.
Absolutely.
And it was like, oh, what will I wear to the ring? Oh, what if I wear like a windbreaker? And what if I have Zubaz?
Perfect.
Oh, anyone could wear Zubaz. What if my Zubaz were tearaways?
Yes.
Oh, anyone could get a windbreaker. What if I got like a custom Ribera jacket made with my name on it? No one has that.
Right.
So it was just very easy to pick and choose. It was like, oh, I wonder if I can get custom Macho Man glasses. And I literally Googled custom Macho Man glasses, and I found a dude that makes them online. I'm like,
and I have a pair at home.
I'm like, oh, this is great. Like everything was just kind of working, and I was able to just kind of have fun doing it. And I debuted the character officially December 31st. Worcester at the White Eagle Hall for Beyond Wrestling, New Year's Eve.
I didn't know you did it with them.
December 2017 was the official debut. I wrestled Rayo.
Yeah.
who now is in Future of Honor. That was my first official match as the
That's amazing.
retrosexual. Yeah.
That's a great story.
And the coolest thing about it, I think, was I jumped into it
Right.
earlier than when I was ready for.
Yep.
And I think that's what made me ready. Because I didn't have the custom gear right away.
Yep.
And I didn't have the tearaways, and I didn't have the jacket or the glasses.
Right.
I kind of just threw it together
Yep.
to make it work. And people were kind of iffy about it. Like, oh, yeah, it's kind of generic. But then slowly but surely, then the custom tights came in.
Right.
The jacket came in.
Yeah.
The pants came in. The glasses, the headbands. And then everyone was like, oh, this clicks.
Yep.
And then it was all
That's
up
awesome.
from there, yeah.
And you're very creative with your merchandise.
We try to be.
Because actually, I just started using your lighter.
Oh,
The girl's lighter's gone. I used that one first.
yeah.
Yours is being used now, but that was great. You still have any of those?
A couple left, and
Nice.
I know you like to cook, so I might have to get you my official hot sauce.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm sure you didn't even know I had.
I had no idea.
Retro Heat. They're a company
Really?
from Maine
Yep.
called Heel Heat Hot Sauce.
Oh, I'm definitely
And,
going to buy it next. Now, you were on the show Friday, Chaotic?
I am. I'll bring a bottle for you.
All right. All right. So Sonny also has a follow-up question. How do you handle working on and running your own shows? Because it's got to be so stressful.
It's the dumbest. Running wrestling shows is already dumb.
Right.
But running a wrestling show and wrestling on your own
Yeah.
show is even dumber. And I don't know, I guess the reason why I probably even wrestle on my own show is I'm saving a little bit of money. I don't have to pay
Right.
myself.
Exactly. But you're over with the crowds around here too, though. So, I mean, it kind of...
So I actually had a Randy Carver
Yeah.
from
He was there yesterday,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Him and I had a talk a couple months ago
Smart
about
kid.
it. He's so smart. and-
Wicked smart.
So I don't want to make the show about me.
Right.
That's not my goal.
Right.
I didn't start a wrestling company to give myself the belt,
Right.
to put myself in top matches. Or I really didn't. I did it because I love the idea of booking.
Yes.
I love the I guess recognition I get from the boys if there's a big crowd.
Right.
Like I was really like last night's show. There's over 200 people there.
Yeah, there's
So
a
it's
lot of
like,
people there.
I'm running shows so my friends have
Yep.
a really cool crowd to wrestle in front
Right.
of. That's the truth.
That's awesome.
So him and I had a talk, and I was like, all right, I'm booking Brian Pillman Jr. I don't know who to put him against.
Right.
It could be this guy, it could be this guy. I literally said, I don't want it to be me.
Right.
And he said, why not? And I said, I don't want to be the guy that brings in names
Yeah.
or top independent wrestling talent to wrestle them.
Yeah.
It's not what I want to do. He goes, but where you are in your career, you are that guy.
Yeah.
People want to see that match.
Yep.
Someone will buy a ticket
Right.
to see you versus Pillman.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I understand, but I'd rather team
Right.
with Evie
Yeah.
and just do like a fun mixed tag, you
Yeah.
know, like no stress. Like the first two shows,
Yes.
it was me and her versus Cheeseburger and Sumi.
Yeah.
And I did that to make her better.
Right.
The second show, I put her with Max Caster and Chris Statlander
Yes.
to make her better.
Yep.
My goal isn't to put myself in the main event.
Right.
And then he said, you can't be, the thing that got to me is when he said, it made me click. He said, you can't be the comedy tag match every show because they're going to want to see you
point.
have a serious match.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you sold me on the idea.
I was definitely excited to see your match. And
Yeah.
It was a great match. It
But, like,
really was.
Even, it gets to me. I'm
Yeah.
sure he'll tweet about it, but Mayor McCheese,
I saw
the
that.
famous,
Yeah.
and like,
I almost was ready to say that's not true because the second show,
I was the
opening match.
Like, and I'm not going to defend myself
I hear
on
ya.
Twitter because
Right.
I don't think it's necessary
Right.
to. It was actually Lumberjake that brought the tweet to my attention. I
Right.
didn't even see it. It is what it is.
Yep.
I don't really care, but I just personally don't like if Mayor McCheese notices it that way.
Yeah.
I would just hate for other people to also see me as, oh, he's just another booker trying to get himself over. Because I don't want to sound cocky or vain. I don't think I need to book myself on a show and win a match to get myself over. It's
No.
not.
No, you don't.
They're like.
I really don't.
I'm not the booker of Limitless Wrestling.
Right.
I didn't give myself the Limitless
Right.
Wrestling title. you know?
No. But it was a good choice to put it on you. And also when they put the APW belt on you.
Yeah, a lot of
It
people I
just
think
was
did
a
it.
smart move
it was-
on their part. They're trying to grow. You need a strong champion. That's why I agree with, I'm not the biggest JT Dunn fan or whatever. I think he's a great wrestler and stuff. But I mean, I think at the time when they put the belt on him in Chaotic, he was the guy that
He's the
could
right
put
time.
on great matches every show.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
100%.
what you're doing now too, though. So don't sell yourself short. You know, I know it must be hard to not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you talk about yourself, but you don't want to sound, like you said, too cocky or anything
Yeah.
like that. I totally get it. All right, Steve Urquhart, good friend of Brandon Belange, wants to know, I think I know the reason, but how come you dropped the retrosexual just down to retro from your
Retro.
name? Yeah. That's a great question, Steve.
After I signed with Evolve Wrestling, which
Yep.
I'm sure this is the answer he
Right.
knows, which we all know has a really strong relationship with WWE.
Yes.
No one from WWE has contacted me and told me don't call yourself retrosexual
Right.
or anything. I figured it was in my best interest to be as universal as possible.
Yep.
That it was a smart idea to drop the word sexual, even though retrosexual comes and is derived from metrosexual,
Right.
which doesn't have like any sexual like
Right.
content or
Yeah,
any
exactly.
sexual meaning rather. I thought it would just be a good idea for promotion wise and for myself to kind of just get rid of it and just
Right.
be retro. I think the crowd still understands, the fans still understand
yeah.
what I am and who I am.
Right.
So I don't think the word sexual make or breaks
Right.
what I do.
No, nice. That is a great question, Stephen. All right, Dan's back again with another
Oh
question.
boy. No, I'm just kidding.
What was going through your mind, though? You just brought up like working on the network not too long
Yeah.
ago, but what was it like? What was going through your mind when you wrestled on the WWE network? And he adds, it was amazing seeing you there. One of my favorite moments of the year. But he didn't still go to the show yesterday.
It was, speaking of stressful days,
Yeah.
one of the most stressful days of my life.
Right.
Similar to like a WWE call time, we had to be there at like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock for like an
That was in New York, right?
no, Philly. It was
Oh,
at the
was it
ECW
Philly? Okay.
Arena.
Okay.
Yeah, the famous 2300 Arena
Yeah.
on the corner of Swanson and Ritenour. So stressful.
Right.
I didn't eat that day. That's how stressed I was. I think I had like 2 protein shakes and water. That was all I would have. And I didn't get much sleep the night before because I wrestled in Maine.
Yeah.
I got home around 3 a.m. I had to meet for my ride at 5. So I went to the gym, did like 20 or 30 minutes of cardio, and tanned again. Because Gangrel said it to me, and he got it from Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
If you only have time to do one thing, tan. So I was so tan that day.
Right.
I was probably the tannest person on that show by a lot. So stressful because we got there and then it's a lot of just hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
And you're just there, you're sitting there, you're waiting for the meeting, and the meeting happens. And then it's like, all right, now we have to do some like run-throughs for the opening. And me and Josh were the first ever match.
Yeah.
First
Independent match.
streamed live on the WWE Network. So that's stressful in itself.
Yeah.
And the way it was set up was there was like a segment that led into the match.
Okay.
So I'm in the ring, and like there's like 15 wrestlers and refs and the ring announcer all in the ring, and they're doing this opening, and I'm just in there. I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm about to wrestle. Like usually you have the chance to go behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You have that like last minute like chance to like
Run it through your head.
get everything ready and like kind of be ready to go out and
Yeah.
have your moment. But I'm just like in the ring. I'm like, all right, I'm not going back through the curtain. It's just I'm in this ring, and then the match is starting. That's it.
Wow.
So it was and then I've wrestled in the arena. I've been lucky to wrestle in there 4 times.
Right.
The first 3 times I didn't notice this. It was this 4th time that it really hit. I was just looking up at the banners of all the guys in the Hall of Fame. Eddie Gilbert,
Yep.
Chris Candido, who's one of my favorites.
Wow. Awesome.
Eddie Guerrero,
Yep.
Sabu, Too Cold Scorpio. I could go on.
Yeah. Trent Acid.
Trent
is one of my
Acid,
favorites.
yeah.
I had to say.
The Backseat Boys. And I was looking up at all those names. I'm like, these guys made this little
Yeah. Yep.
bingo
Because it
hall.
is a shitty building.
They
It
made,
was at
they
least.
made that building mean something.
Yeah.
They made that building probably, if I had to guess, top 5 most historic wrestling
No
arenas
doubt.
in the world, in the
Absolutely.
United States at least.
Yeah.
And like, why do I deserve to wrestle on the first ever network special in that building?
You earned it.
Like, and like Paul Heyman's in the building,
Right.
you know?
That must have been great.
It's-
Incredible.
It's just, it was very nerve wracking.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't deserve it in the moment, I was like, wow, like this is like
Right.
too good to be true. I like wrote a long post on Facebook. If you want to go back and find it, it's like a million
I
it's a
can,
million months
posts
ago.
back. Yeah.
I was like in tears writing
Right.
it, and like I think I thanked every single promoter.
Right.
That's like I tried to think of every promoter that ever gave me an opportunity when I was
Right.
brand new, and every wrestler and every trainer that's ever helped me, and I didn't want it to come off like, oh, I'm going to WWE, because I literally said like this is just the beginning.
Right.
But like it was just such a historic moment for me and such a cool moment. Like
And to share it with your friend.
he cried too. I
bet.
cried. The best moment I think of the entire match was as he was giving me the miracle ecstasy.
Yeah.
As I'm popped up in the air, I go, thank you. As he slams me on my head, he pins me. He goes, I love you. And I go, I love you
Nice.
too. And then it was like,
That's awesome.
It felt like it was over in an instant.
Right.
So it was just very cool.
I love that you guys said that to each other, because I've lost a lot of friends over the years. I told you I'm 54 years old, so I've lost many friends, and I never not tell the people that I love them every time I see them, and that includes my best friends and stuff like that. So that was very cool. All right, Eric Dewey. I think this is Eric's first time asking a question, and it might have been his first time at your show.
Oh, okay.
So he says, are you going to team up with Ava Everett again and challenge the Sea Stars for the Sabotage titles? And then he just adds, that will be good for business, and you guys are a power couple, and I'm glad I saw you and Ava and some other superstars. I really enjoyed it and can't wait to see it again. So I think he was there yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, well.
And
First off, thank you, Eric, for supporting the show and coming out to see it.
he's going to come next time, too.
Oh, March 1st, don't forget
Yes.
it, Crown Zero.
Nice.
Fun fact, Dominik Dijakovic came up with the name Crown Zero.
Did he really?
Sure did.
Nice.
So that will be the next event, March 1st. I'd like to think it's a good idea to take the winter off, especially with the holidays.
Right.
People have to save their money for Christmas gifts and Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Boxing Day if you're Canadian. I think I got all my P's and Q's checked on that one. And then like the winter could just be miserable here in New England.
Right.
And I would hate for there to be a snowstorm or some crappy weather, especially in the hills of Gardner, Massachusetts.
Right. And you book guys that aren't all from here, too.
Yeah, I try to use a unique group.
Right.
Like, I'm sure there's a lot of guys you've never seen before.
Yeah.
That were on that show or have at least never wrestled in the area.
I had heard of most of them.
Yeah. I never say never for that match idea.
Right.
Myself and Ava Everett versus the Sea Stars.
All right. It was good to see them yesterday. I hadn't seen them in a while.
Yeah. Probably not for the next show in March.
Yep.
But yeah, I wouldn't say it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think that would actually be a lot of fun.
Thanks for asking, Eric. Thanks for going to his show. And next question is from a guy that's on an extended hiatus from wrestling, Mike Crockett, another former ref. Was your plan always to start as a referee and then become a wrestler, or was that how it went for you?
When I first started, I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
I just wanted to be a part of the business.
Yep.
The joke was if WWE would hire me as a janitor,
Yeah.
I would take the job in a heartbeat. Then the reffing came about, and I thought I got really good at it, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
Right.
I got to travel, got to ref for a lot of major independent wrestling companies.
Yep.
I got to go to Cleveland, Ohio for AIW.
Really?
I got to go to New Jersey. I reffed on the big PWS Pro Wrestling Syndicate
Nice. Yep,
weekend
yep.
with Great Muda. I reffed on that
Was
show.
Pat Buck part of that with Eric?
Yep. Pat Buck actually is the one that got me to referee on the card.
Okay.
Do you remember Taka Suzuki?
Yeah.
I drove him to the show.
Oh, okay.
Because he was Muda's they booked him as Muda's translator.
Right.
So that helped me a lot there, and I
Nice.
got to ref a couple matches. And I thought I was going to be a ref, and then everyone just kept telling me I was too tall.
Right.
And then I had that one match, kind of got the itch.
Yeah.
Ryan Waters, Bob Evans, Mike Bennett kind of all not forced me, but kind of pushed me to try harder and work towards wrestling. And then it just kind of.
So you must be real happy that they pushed you.
Yeah.
That is great. We're not going to get to all the questions, so I'm going to just jump through a few of them. Some guys that have never asked a question, I'm going to ask for sure. Jacob Dawson wants to know, what rookies do you have your eyes on? Ooh. It's a great question because there are a lot of great young kids working right now. Would you consider CJ Cruz a rookie?
So yeah, so funny enough, him and Charlie Cashew
Yep.
both trained at the New England Pro Wrestling Academy years ago.
Oh, they
before.
did? Oh, I didn't know
They
that.
both stopped.
Yeah, I knew Royce did.
And they both came back. So those two for sure. Charlie Cashew, CJ Cruz. I like to call him Mortar.
Yeah.
That's his nickname. I think Ricky Archer has a lot of potential.
Yes, he does.
If we're just talking,
Good look too.
Yeah, if great look.
Yeah.
If we're talking New England Pro Wrestling Academy alone, those three, Kason, Armani Chaos. He had his first ever match.
Okay.
At APW in the Gil Bonk.
Oh, see.
So he got to make his debut in the Gil Bonk. So I think those four from the New England Pro Wrestling Academy specifically.
Right.
And then there's a few others. There's Mac Daniels.
Yeah, I've heard of that
He was in the pre-show yesterday. I think he has a lot of charisma. Another guy with a great look. He trains at the Limitless Wrestling Dojo.
Oh, okay.
I recently went up there to do a seminar/training session, and he was there. Jacob Dawson was also there.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah, I think if Jacob keeps working at it, he could have a nice little run in the New England area. I would say those five. Yeah, those five probably have the most potential in the region.
All right. Brandon Belanger has this question. I have a follow-up after it.
Sure.
How did it feel to have performed at the legendary ECW? You kind of just said it, but for CZW and Evolved, and then Vince Blackman. We know who Vince Blackman is.
Oh yeah.
But he says House of Hardcore too. And now was that the Massachusetts show you did for House of Hardcore?
So yes. But
I was going to cater that, but they wouldn't have outside people bring food in. I was supposed to do that show.
But here's the thing. I wrestled for House of Hardcore in 2014 at the ECW Arena.
Really?
That was my first ever ECW Arena match. So in August 2014, I paid $100.
Yep.
Drove to the famous Mid-Hudson Civic Center with Dijak, Mikey Webb, and Cam Zagami. We did a seminar for House of Hardcore. They picked one guy out of 30 that probably tried out to wrestle on the House of Hardcore show, House of Hardcore 7.
That was my next question.
That was
because I did 1, 5, and 13.
Yeah, so 7 was the first one at the arena.
Okay.
And I was chosen.
Nice.
Out of 30 other wrestlers, Dijak was 9 feet tall.
Right.
Mikey Webb, who had abs for days.
Yep.
I was the one chosen. I did a 6-man tag. Myself, Ben Ortiz, who was the first graduate of the House of Hardcore school.
Yes, I know Ben.
And Vic Delicious, who has helped train and helped run House of Hardcore.
Was Hale Collins in it too?
He was not.
Okay.
We wrestled Dan Barry, Bill Carr, and Nunzio. So my first ever experience in the ECW arena was wrestling an ECW original.
That's pretty cool.
That was really cool. And then I've got to wrestle there 4 times.
Yep.
The second time, so strange, I just showed up with Dijak to Ring of Honor.
Right.
And I got the dark match. I teamed with QT Marshall, who is now with AEW as a producer, and he wrestles there here and there. And we wrestled Brutal Burger, Bob Evans and Cheeseburger.
Nice.
And then the other 2 as well, CZW, and then the WWE Network.
Nice. My follow-up question is, how did you end up getting booked down at CZW? I've been a fan of CZW since the Backseat Boy days, the Hate Club, Nick Mondo. I mean, I've been following them for a very long time.
So I did 2 Dojo Wars in October and November of 2017, and they liked me. Nothing really came of it, and then they booked me for a show in May of 2018, but I was double booked, so I was like, I can't do it.
Yep.
So DJ was like, all right, well, I can't use you on this date because it's Tournament of Death. Can you do this random outside show at the House of Independence in the Jersey Shore area? What's the town? Asbury Park. It was Asbury Park. I was like, yeah, I could do that.
Right.
I was just in a random 4-way. It was me, Alex Reynolds, Wheeler Yuta, and what's his name? German guy. Francis.
No, not coming to me.
It's
not Francis O'Rourke.
no, it's like,
No, I knew it wasn't him.
oh man, is it Francis Caspian or something?
I don't know him, but
I have to look it up. I feel bad because that was my first match.
Yep.
And they brought me back in August, and I came out with the Honeys.
Yeah.
And I wrestled him again in a singles match.
Right.
And that was kind of where I got very over there on just that
Quickly,
first try.
right? Yeah.
And then from there, it was like I wrestled Joey Ryan, and then just kept moving.
Yeah.
Until we got to Cage of Death, which was at the arena, and I beat David Starr.
Wow.
So
Who's really good too, right?
incredible.
Now. I saw the match. You were on the show a couple weeks ago at the Beyond when he took on Mercedes.
I
Did
was,
you,
yeah. I was.
Did you come out and watch that match?
I watched it from
seriously.
I watched it from the back. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, she is phenomenal.
30
anyways.
minutes.
Exactly. Well, like I said, we're not going to get to all the questions, so I'm sorry. There's 12 minutes left. I'm asking my questions, okay? You brought up the Honeys. How did that come about for you, and how did you convince them? Well, it probably wasn't high because they want to be involved.
So I think they came up with the idea of being they were going to be a tag team.
Okay.
The Platinum Honeys.
Yep.
It was at least an inside joke at the school.
Okay.
That, oh yeah, we're the Platinum Honeys. They're both blonde. They also have the same birthday.
They do?
Yep. January 11th. They both have the same birth date.
That's cool.
And it was Chase that decided to put them with me.
Right.
Because me and Evie already started dating.
Yep.
And we kind of wanted to avoid each other for obvious reasons, like conflict of interest.
Yep.
And I wanted to debut the retrosexual character, but we had to like kind of finish my angle or whatever at Chaotic because now it's like January, February, and we were going to debut the character in March at Cold Fury.
Yep.
So he said, what if we do like an extravagant like WrestleMania entrance for you? And what if we put Michelle and Evie with you, or Angel and Ava? This is before they even had names officially. Like they were just the Platinum Honeys. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, that'd be a cool way to debut the characters. Like a restart. Like they're gonna have crimped hair. They're gonna have like these Barbie like bodysuits on.
Right.
This is perfect.
That's awesome.
It's when I debuted the jacket. I debuted the pants that day. The glasses. Like it was it's how Randy Carver got sold on the idea.
Right.
So that was the start, and then it was supposed to be a one-time deal.
Yep.
And then Chase was like, maybe we just always have them come out to the ring with you.
Right.
They don't have to be like valets.
Yep.
Or they don't have to be like managers. But what if they just walk you to the ring and then they leave? I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, let's do that. And then slowly they started getting involved.
Yep.
And then I got booked for House of Hardcore in Mass. And Chase texts me and goes, tell the Honeys to show up just in case. And then I asked Dreamer. And I was like, hey, I have these two girls that valet me. And then I'm sure you know Dreamer as like calm and as like monotone. He goes, do I have to pay them? I'm like, no. He goes, okay.
He's such a good guy.
Yeah, he's great.
He really
so that's kind of how it started. And then Beyond wanted them.
Right.
Then Limitless wanted them.
Yep.
And then it kind of just took off, became its own monster.
Right.
And everyone just kind of wanted it. So
I'll tell you, one of the most memorable things I had of this past year for Chaotic was when they were the referees.
They did so good.
I'm telling you right now, it was unbelievable how great they did.
So entertaining.
It was it wasn't the match of the night, but it was the most entertaining of the night by far.
Sometimes it's not about how many super kicks or Canadian destroyers you can do. Sometimes
grabbing each other's hands to go down and you know, and then you get 1, 2, and then I think it was Angel went my nail and just everything. Now, did they come up with that? A lot of those spots on their own, or obviously did someone that has more experience help them?
So fun fact, when they bumped heads, 100% a shoot.
Really?
Yep. They went down at the wrong time. They legit bumped heads. So that's why they didn't count. Well, I don't know how it was set up.
Yeah.
But Chase helps a lot with the character stuff. But like you were saying, it's I jokingly say it, but it's so true.
Right.
Sometimes it's not about the moves.
Yep.
It's about the moments.
That's right.
And that the most memorable thing you remember from that show. I couldn't even tell you what show that was.
Right.
But I do remember them.
It was awesome. I know they were in the ring with Brett Domino, and I think it might have been D.L. Hurst.
I think it was CJ.
Was it CJ?
I believe so.
But I think you're right. You are right. Because I like CJ a lot, too. He's a good kid. He's trying hard. I love seeing the young kids keep going. Chris Sullivan, who I never bring up, and I love Chris, and he's just answering Vince. He says, how loud was Chris and Anthony when you got in the ring? Well, you guys, where did he get in the ring?
Wait, when?
Did Anthony, did Tony get in the ring somewhere?
I don't remember. I think they're referring to me at House of Hardcore.
Oh, all right.
And they were very loud. I definitely had
I'm sure they were.
Oh, they drove down from Mass.
Right.
And bought tickets.
Nice.
To see me wrestle.
Good friends.
Yeah, for real.
I like both those guys. George Resnick Jr. And I have to ask this question because I like this kid too.
Mm-hmm.
When is Avery coming to Zero USA Northeast? Is he done? I heard he might get hurt. He got hurt or something. I hope not.
I haven't heard that.
Okay.
He's still in high school.
Right, I
So
know. Yeah, he's a
it's
senior like my youngest.
And that's like a tough year for him. And
Yeah.
then, I'm sure he's gonna go to college because
Right.
that kid has he's smarter than me.
He's wicked
He's
smart.
got such a good vernacular. He has better English than I do.
Yep.
He has real good English. But I think his body needs to mature a little bit
Yep.
more. He's continue to work out,
Right.
train as much as he can.
Yep.
I would never say no,
Right.
but I think he has a lot of work before I guess he's ready.
Yep.
I kind of want, this is no offense to him
Yeah.
or anyone that's not on my shows,
Right.
but I want to put on, as you've seen, like the most elite
Yep.
independent wrestling card with the best guys of New England and some of
Right.
the best guys in the U.S. and the world possibly.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many friends of mine.
Oh, I'm sure.
that wanna
Yeah, it's
get
got to
booked.
be hot. I mean, that's a loaded question
Yeah.
too, George.
Yeah, George.
But yeah, no, seriously, I love the kid. And just real quick about him though, the adversity, everything he's been through.
Oh,
I
for
have
real.
so much respect for a young kid like that. I've actually, not that I want my daughter to be with him, but I was telling her about him. Like,
Yeah.
I have so much respect for this young kid that's your age and
Mm-hmm.
just amazing. All right, Ronald Ribera wants to know favorite match you reffed.
Ooh. I don't think this was necessarily the best wrestling match.
Okay.
But definitely one of my favorites. I got to ref, do you remember Owen Grachin,
Yeah.
trained by Bob Evans?
Yeah.
I got to ref him versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Wow. Now that's one of my favorites of all time.
Like that's just really cool for me.
Yeah.
I got to ref a lot of cool names like Raven,
Yep.
Tito
yeah, Raven.
yeah. I wrestled Raven a couple weeks
you
ago.
really?
Yeah, at Big
Nice.
Time. I ref for Tito Santana, Matt Hardy.
Right.
Man, Coco Beware gave me a stink face one time. Yeah, it was a lot.
Did
of
he
cool-
bump?
Oh no.
Nah, because I was gonna say because I saw him one time a couple of years ago and he was not bumping.
Yeah, this was 2012.
Yeah. Oh wow. So he wasn't even bumping then. All right, guys, I'm gonna apologize ahead of time. Maybe we can try to get through these as many as we
Oh,
can.
yeah, for sure.
All right, Damon Ferrer. It has been unbelievable watching you evolve over the last several years. You're an amazing wrestler, but
Evolve.
even more amazing human being. Is there anyone left that you haven't wrestled yet that you want to? Looking forward to seeing you this Friday and Saturday.
Singles matches. My dream independent wrestling opponent right now is Chris Statlander. Hasn't happened yet.
Wow.
So Beyond, Limitless,
Yep.
Chaotic, my own show. You're all on notice.
Yeah. Somebody booked that because that would be great. Now, did she just get signed? That was a rumor I had heard.
I can only tell you what I've seen online.
Yep.
So I'm not sure.
Same as me. Yeah. Pretty amazing though if she did because she's pretty new.
Yeah.
Is she from the first class of Pat Buck in
No,
She's not.
No. I think probably the second or third.
Oh,
class,
okay.
Yeah. And then my dream opponent WWE wise.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. Is Velveteen Dream.
Nice. Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's really killing that gimmick too.
Yeah.
All right. My friend Nathan Fuller. Anthony, what do you think about NXT?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially now that it's on national TV. It's no longer a farm league,
Right.
in my opinion.
Right.
Like FCW,
Yep.
OVW, Deep South, those were farm leagues.
Yes.
NXT is a national TV company.
Yep.
And some of those guys will probably never leave NXT because they're such big stars. And they're
Right.
still going to make that WWE money there.
Right.
And they're still going to get that WWE notoriety being on USA.
It's awesome.
Like, I think it's great for the business.
Yep.
I think it's great for independent wrestling
Definitely.
because now there's more spots opening up on the indies because
Yep.
they're going to need more stars from the indies to go to NXT
Right.
or to go to AEW.
Yep.
So I think that's just more spots for me to take here on the Indies.
Right.
And hopefully that means maybe DL Hurst can take my spot.
Right.
Then maybe one day I'll make it.
Yep.
And then he can take my spot there.
Right.
And then maybe he'll make it. It's all a ladder.
Yep.
And I think
He's
it's really-
doing great,
Yeah.
too. He really is.
I'm with my shows.
Yeah.
I hate to bring it back to this point.
Yeah, it's all right.
Especially with a short time. But my goal is to use a lot of newer guys.
Yep.
And get them the experience they need.
Right.
That's why Kid Curry has wrestled Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
And he's wrestled Caleb Conley now. And that's why DL wrestled Joe Gacy.
Right.
You know?
That was great to see Joe Gacy. He's another guy. When I first
Never in the
started
area.
watching CZW, he was just starting out.
Yeah.
Him and Dahmer and that stuff,
yeah.
you know? Working fine. Jesus!
Yes.
Zandig, sorry. I'm loud. All right, Dan's brother Bobby wants to know, do you think someday you will hire Tiny Pipes, Dan Bolio, to be a hype man or at least an intern?
Maybe if he starts showing up to my shows.
Yeah. All right, and his real question is, what is your most memorable moment in wrestling as a performer and as a fan? Obviously, you already said, like, your most would be the Evolve.
Probably that. Or even if I had to choose a second, I wrestled Paul London at Limitless Wrestling
nice.
in May 2017. And after the match, he put me over, said a bunch of nice things.
Yep.
And then Randy Carver slid a picture of me and him as a kid in the ring.
From an ROH show?
NEW show.
Oh, okay.
And because he wanted him to sign it for me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the promo, he goes, by the way, like this kid, I met him when he was 16, 15 years old, whatever. And he goes, by the way, Anthony, can you sign this for me? I nearly cried.
Right?
Like
He's one of the nicest guys I met from my catering days. Seriously.
That's full circle right
Right.
there. That was really cool. And then favorite moment as a fan, it's my favorite match of all time, WrestleMania 25,
Yep.
Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker.
Nice.
Best
That's my
match
favorite match, too.
Best match.
Yep.
I think that's the greatest wrestling match ever.
Yep. That's my favorite, too. It's funny you said that. All right. Ben Caccieri.
Oh,
You know Ben?
I'll never say his name
All
right.
right.
But
What
I know
gave you
Ben.
the idea to start 01 USA
So
Northeast?
I think you'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the old independent NWA territories.
Right.
NWA New England,
Yep.
Wild Side,
Right.
On Fire, Midwest.
Yep.
And I think it lacks that on the indies now.
Yep.
So I think it'd be really cool to bring that back. I reached out to 01 USA. They
Yep.
wanted to use me. Hasn't worked out yet. We're still talking about it.
Yep.
But I told them I wanted to run shows. I said, how would you feel about like a sister company? Like
Right.
An off branch of 01 USA will be 01 USA Northeast. I think the name has a lot of notoriety. And I thought the name would pique interest.
Yep.
So I thought it was just good for business and good for local wrestling talent for an opportunity. They could check 01 off the bucket list.
Right.
It's just a very cool, different thing than what anyone else is kind of doing in the area.
Nice. You want to plug your 2 shows this weekend? Because we got 20 seconds.
Man, Chaotic Wrestling.
Yes, I'll be there.
I'm winning the heavyweight title.
All right.
Verna, Christian, come
Yeah.
get it. And then lastly, Lucky Pro Wrestling. I am wrestling former WCW star Lodi. Like Clinton, Massachusetts. I'll see you there.
Great job, Chris Sullivan, booking the obscure guys.
Yes, I
Anthony,
love it.
thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right. Peace.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.